days long past, fighting shadows deep and vast, bloodstained blade in hand. Stand your ground, make a stand. Curse whispers fill the air, spirits cry, beware, beware. Through the fog and through the flame, monsters here know my name. Silent screams, hearts break, nightmares come wide awake. Warriors of woe take flight, darkened souls embrace the fight. Shadows crawl from the grave, whisper secrets dark and brave. Eyes that pierce into the night, monsters come, we must fight. Candles flicker casting dread, spirits cry, beware, beware. And twisted wire, darkness feeds on fear's desire. Shadows creep, the flames grow higher. Moonlit graves and evil schemes, fighting phantoms, haunting dreams. Echoes of forgotten screams, horror not as it all seems. Battle cries and blackened void, demons that I once enjoyed, now my strength they can't avoid. Living past, I'm forced to destroy. I suppose the blood they crave, spirits risen from the grave, clawing beasts, the souls they save. I'll be fighting till I cave, monsters hiding in my fears, bloody masks and deadly leers, fending off the painful jeers. Victory drowning in my tears. Battle cries and blackened void, demons that I once enjoyed, now a strength they can't avoid. Living past, I'm forced to destroy. 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 Moonlit graves and evil schemes, fighting phantoms, haunting dreams. Echoes of forgotten screams, horror not as it all seems. Battle cries and blackened void, demons that I once enjoyed, now my strength they can't avoid. Living past, I'm forced to destroy. To destroy. To destroy. To destroy. To destroy. To destroy.
Evening, everybody. Welcome to another map maker stream for the Shattered World. How y'all doing tonight? Give me just 1 second. Some of my stuff was a little slow to open, so I'm still setting up. Good to hear, good to hear. All right. So, time to answer your question. What was the question? 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 What was the question The songs you're not going to be able to find, they are AI generated with Suno, the website Suno. Hey, Fee, how you doing? I had initially used royalty free and other songs that I had paid for and kept getting copyright strikes. So I eventually just said fuck it and started using AI generated songs. I would rather not, but especially with me being a still very small streamer and not having a lot of resources to fight against that kind of thing. Yeah, basically YouTube copyright system bullshit. Um it's annoying, it's frustrating, but at this point it is what it is. It sucks, but it is what it is. So, what I'm going to be doing tonight is setting up at least one of the next major encounters for this area. Glad you guys like the new emotes, by the way. There will be more coming. Um, Mostly those were just set up to test and make sure that I could do what I wanted to do. If that makes sense. So, let me... Alright, fun fact, when you try and click and drag the stuff to copy over, make sure you're doing it in the right application and not, you know, on the actual stream. And also make sure there we go. Yay. Oh, wait a minute. Alright, I don't know what the fuck I did to fuck that up originally, but we fixed it. Alright, so this is going to be a grocery store. In the actual game, for my players, stop listening. No, this is going to be a grocery store. This is going to be one of the two major encounters of this wing. It's okay because now you have to ask yourself, how much of what I'm saying is going to be legitimate and how much of it is just complete and utter bullshit designed to fuck with you? Because everyone who's been in one of my campaigns knows I love to fuck with you guys. It's great.
Damn you, buddy. Damn you to hell.
All right. So this is the Everfull Feast grocery. The main things we're going to want to do right now. Let me go back to my main map. I had not worked any doors in on the main display, so we are good to basically fuck around. Oh, don't call for clips. That's fucked up. And you're right, bullshit designed to fuck with players can be legitimate. It's so great. Um, I knew how to do it at one point. It's something I looked to see how to do, and I learned it, and then I forgot. I forget a lot. Like this. Where the fuck are doors? This is not a box. Doors, right there. It's the thing clearly marked doors and windows. How does that look? Nah, I don't like that. Alright, we're going to do it this way to represent the double doors. So basically this was once a larger like department store. Damn you, time. Time, the enemy of us all. It's always there, waiting.
Watching, waiting, commiserating.
Boo. So if you couldn't hear that, someone in the background started singing the old, what the fuck was that? Was that Blink-182?
So, I will not go.
Turn the lights off. Carry me home. I hate you so much. Bottom of my fucking heart. Boo. Alright, so the major encounter for this is going to be a ritualistic puzzle that I'm not going to go into too much detail on. And it's also going to be a bit of a defense mission. This will be basically a beginner prep for stabilizing the tear, which for those of you that have listened to other streams, stabilizing or closing a tear is basically a tower defense side mission or, you know, side quest. You have the tear, you have to keep enemies from getting close to it by any means necessary. That's my mental age. I was doom scrolling earlier and there was this I don't know if this was legitimate or if it was just, you know, the person in the real fucking with its viewers, but it was this type of bread that he described as a cross between pita bread and a bagel. And right there you have my attention because those are both awesome. And it's a very nutty bread with a creamy sauce called Kaak. Kaak. And you toast it, cover it in sesame seeds to give it a nice nutty flavor. I am 5. I can't hear that without just losing my shit. Sorry, like it is what it is. All right, so right button. So once we know the purpose of this room, we know it's in-universe purpose. It was a grocery store. Oh, that's horrible. Both those are bad. But we know it was a grocery store. Now, in game, what's its purpose? Well, it's going to be a basically mini boss encounter as well as a ritual puzzle. So, we will set the elements of our puzzle up first. No. This may be something I end up just drawing once we port it over to Foundry. But for now, I want to set something to mark off the area. Also, obligatory reminder, for those of us who use a lot of like Foundry or Roll20 or just D&D maps in general, you very much get used to the idea that each square is a 5-foot square. Please note, if you look at the top and the left, there are sizes. Each one of these little squares is not in fact 5 feet. Do not make that mistake. I would never do that. Okay, we can also get rid of that. So, that is going to be ritual area number 1. That is going to be ritual area number 2. And that is going to be ritual area number 3. It is looking at us and disappointed. We will go ahead, if I can remember how to do this. There we go. And we will make them 3 different colors just to remind ourselves. All right. So, we've got our 3 ritual areas. In short, what's going to happen is they're going to have to pick as many of them as they want to try and defend. Holding more of them will give them bonuses, but it will also make more enemies appear, making it harder. Not all of the players are really good at combat. So, we will also make sure, doing this with as little spoilers as possible, because there are some cheaters on the stream. Cheat. But joking aside, you're not cheaters. We love you. Let's go ahead. Blackjack for me. I don't poker. I barely know her. Any good ritual area has a previously done ritual sacrifice. I don't make the rules. It is what it is. Let's go ahead and change the color of this, just to make that mannequin stick out a little bit more. Again, that part doesn't have to be exact because, look, I don't need you bringing facts and logic into this. That is uncool. That is completely uncool. Oh. Ah. 1 second. All right, sorry about that. Hit the wrong button, lost some shit for a second. Story of my life. So, what we need to do now, any good grocery store, of course, has their rows and rows of shit. We will say this grocery store also has a small little deli in the background, or in the back, where you can go get, like, your overpriced subs, your overpriced pizza, all that kind of shit. So, create walls. Starting from here, that's, what, 360 to 372, that's 12 feet. I'm going to zoom in a little bit just to make this a little easier math-wise for me. All right, so there we go. 10 foot by 10 foot. Simple and easy. We will then okay, we will not do it that way. We will do it this way. You can select the wall and then split it. then split this one again. Now, I wonder... I can absolutely cut down the height of the wall. Will this make it look different? No, it won't. So instead, what we're going to do is delete that wall. So what we're trying to represent is basically one of those counters, right? This is going to be the deli. You go in, you come up here. Here's where you place your order, blah, blah, blah. We'll put a door right there. Is it living room? Yes, living room had that. So we're going to put a table. And we're going to modify it like that. Is it perfect? No. But this now represents what we're doing. So we will then put our cash register, spinning it right round. And now, since this is a quote-unquote kitchen area, you can't call it a stove, it's a fucking cooker. Okay. Throw in a couple kitchen cabinets because there's always shelving. And then we need a sink. One moment, all. Give me 1 second, all. I apologize. Yes, this place does have everything, including the kitchen sink. I try to be prepared. All right, I am back. Sorry about that. So, this has two purposes. One of the things I always remind my players whenever we sit down to play the Shattered World, and this is just something I've noticed teaching tabletop RPGs in general. That is not a lot of space comparatively. So, we are going to go ahead and increase this deli area. But one of the things I've noticed is that most tabletop RPGs, very much, especially the most popular ones, are fantasy. There's no other way to put it. They're fantasy. It's D&D, it's Pathfinder. Those are hands down the most popular ones. Yes, you have some modern fantasy, some urban fantasy, but those games are never as popular or command as much of the market share as your traditional Tolkien style fantasy. So I've noticed that a lot of players, when they sit down, even when they see a blueprint style map like what I'm using here, they'll immediately fall into that D&D Pathfinder mindset. Okay, there's a door that's a choke point, cool. I can't tell you how many players, when I remind them, hey, you notice there was power, you know the doors are all automatic, why don't you look and see if these have automatic locks? Why don't you see if there's security cameras you can hack into? Every time, without fail, I will get that blank stare for a second, and then, oh, right, those things exist. So when you're the narrator, when you're running a game, that's just something to keep in mind. Now, why are we putting this here? Again, two reasons. One, in universe, that's a... It is what... in universe, this was a little deli, right? We're going to put some more stoves to represent, like, the baking racks where they bake fresh bread and bagels and shit. And that's not an oven, that's a microwave. Like, I want to find out, random segue, I want to find out who designed this, like, what country they're from, because, don't get me wrong, this thing is awesome, I love it, it's great, especially for what it is, but why are you calling the microwave the oven? Why are you calling the stove a cooker? Like, who... Those are not the right words. You're doing it wrong. We could do that. That reminds me. So in Pathfinder First Edition, there was a supplement called the Spheres, right? Spheres of Power, Spheres of Might, Spheres of the Champions, etc. And that's wrong, Fee. Like, you're right, it is called a microwave oven, but damn it, when was the last time you looked at the microwave and said, "Oh, that's the microwave oven. I also call it an oven for short." No, it's a fucking microwave. Like, that is what it is. It's a microwave. Not yelling at you. I love you. But god fucking damn it. Um right. But no, Spheres of Might, they have a class called the Lamenter. And then, a long story short, there's an ability you can get called Banshee Soto Voice. And it lets you project your voice out and use your singing to affect people. And you can sing through things. And you can cast some spells with your voice, and you just need line of sight, not line of effect. So if you can see them, you can hit them. And that's really cool in a fantasy world. And it is decidedly less cool in a modern fantasy world where skyscrapers and security systems and security cameras exist. That's just mean. And I want to use that and make a pop star. Just like baby death metal killing everybody with fucking songs. But like, modern technology changes things. It changes how you view things. When I was first demoing the Shattered World at one of our local conventions, I had one of my first players look at me. I'm feeling very adventurous. I've never made a pop assassin. I've made a celebrity YouTube assassin. I've made a... She sang, but she was more of a violinist. That was a classical songstress assassin, completely different from pop. I know I've made some others, but it's completely different. Completely different. Trust me. So, anyway, getting back to the point, modern technology changes stuff. One of the first people that demoed this game when I took it to a convention to try it out for the public for the first time, they were looking at the different skills and they're like, "Man, some of these skills, I just don't get why you have them. There's no real purpose." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I'll take some feedback. Which ones do you mean?" And he specifically called out structural, craft structural. Why would you ever need to know things about architectural design as an adventurer? Why would you ever need to make buildings? Like, that's cool, it's thematic, but the average adventurer is not going to use that. Talk to you later, Fee. Have a good night. But yeah, the average adventurer is never going to use that. And I just kind of stared at him and pulled out the map and said, "Okay, you are clearing out a building. It's a skyscraper. It's just your team because no one else can go in because there's a tear and nobody else will go in because they don't want to become enhanced. Do you think you're going to clear that in a couple hours?" And he goes, "Well, probably not." "Okay. What are you going to do for a fallback point? And he just kind of stared at me for a second and goes, what do you mean? What if you start to get overwhelmed? What are you going to do? You're going to retreat, right? And he goes, yeah. Would you like to have a safe place to retreat to? And he goes, yeah. Yeah, I guess we could use some architecture to modify some stuff and give us a safe place to hide. And I go, yeah. Do you want cover to fire from? And he goes, okay. Okay, I may have been wrong. But again, he had been approaching the game with that same kind of D&D mindset. And in a modern fantasy game, that mindset will kill you. We were playing a Starfinder campaign a while ago. Starfinder is basically elves in space, for those not familiar. It's Pathfinder in space, hence the name Starfinder. But the character I was playing had unlimited mage hand. Basically, very minor telekinesis. I could lift up to like 5-10 pounds and float something in front of me up to 30 feet. And I could like open doors and shit with it. Interesting, cool, has its uses. The main use I got out of that, I would lift a video camera with my mind, my mage hand, connect it to a display on my wrist, and just float it around corners. And then later I updated it or upgraded it to get like heat vision and thermal vision and all of that. Right. I am a firm believer in taking craft and knowledge engineering. And I can't tell you the number of players that just don't ever think about that. And in a modern setting, especially a setting where one of the other skills that you can get is demolitions, having a knowledge of structure can be mildly handy. It's very nice. And all of that long segue did have a point, I promise. It brings me back to why this little deli counter is here. So again, in universe, it's a deli counter. Why else would it be here? Mechanically, it is here. This is a place the players can fortify. This is a place where they can come in the door, they can make it back here, and just hole up if needed. If things go sideways, right here's a safe place for them to hide temporarily. If they need to take a short tactical pause, for my D&D familiar, a short rest, or a more long rest, that is where they can take it. They can use their knowledges to fortify it up. This table, this counter that only goes halfway up, provides decent cover. This doorway can be locked, or it can be swung to provide some more cover, etc., etc. There's equipment here that they can move, so on and so forth. Also, welcome, Belly. I think I missed seeing you come in. If you said anything, I apologize. Welcome to the stream. Everyone else, I think I have talked to. Even my lurkers. But, again, if I haven't said welcome, welcome to the stream. So, we've got the deli up here. We also need a couple cash registers. So looking through, we're also going to need a bathroom. So let's go ahead. Let's move you down here. Let's create walls. $24. And by 55 feet. Provides. Okay. All right, sorry about that. So, no, I'm not creating a random wall in the middle of nowhere. All right, so what this will be is that back storage area as well as some bathrooms. One, two, three. One, two, three. All right. So now we got 3 stalls for each bathroom. We'll create a wall near enough in the middle. close it off. And that wall's about 19 feet long. So there we go. And now, just like that, we have 2 bathrooms. Hey, Belly, how you doing? I appreciate it. You take care. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. So, we've got our map set up. Let's go ahead. This is, again, one of the things I don't like about this. They don't have the type of doors I want, but we can approximate it by doing that. And then scroll down to the living room. We can make a couple shelves. To better reflect some stuff going on in there. Now, from a game design perspective, what does this do? Well, again, this gives us a potential false back area for our players. But for those that are thinking a little outside the box, it allows them to do some interesting things. For example, if they have, say, some charges, some demolition charges, they can attempt to blow part of this wall, and now they have clear firing lanes to 2 of the ritual areas while remaining in relative safety. Where was it? Modify furniture. 8 feet by 3 feet. Okay. Aisle 1, aisle 2, aisle 3. Boop. 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 And I just want a normal chair. Because we are not bastards, our employees are allowed to sit down. Now, one of the things that this architectural design program doesn't do well is it doesn't really have clutter. It doesn't have shit that you can throw on the floor. For that, we'll basically be using another program. And adding that in before we upload it to Foundry for our players. They do not have anything that looks like shopping carts. But they do have a good approximation of security cameras. So, we'll add some more of those in later, but we now have our shopping area. I am going to go ahead and do another wall right around here to represent a cart corral. And we will do a similar one up here. So at this point, the main thing that we need are our aisles. We know from there to there, just over 12 feet, so that's plenty of space between aisle and here. We want our aisles to have, we'll say about 6 feet between them. So if we put that there, and I use the right tool, that is, it turns out, key to this whole plan. Move to the... Bah! All right, we now have... Tell you what, let's make it 10 feet. 10 feet. Not 10 inches. There is a difference. But we put that there, we delete that, and we now have 2 aisles that are 10 feet apart. We can then starting from there, 10 feet. All right, so we don't want to put that there because that would block that off, but we can put that there. And now, once again, we're going to create a wall. Right there. I will deal with that in a minute. Now, if we were doing a real store in-universe, we would want these to be much more precise. I would actually be going in, modifying walls, and making sure they started at precisely the right point and ended at precisely the right point. Because we're going to be modifying this room, specifically to make it a battle encounter, we don't need or want that same degree of mathematical precision. It's not going to look quite as pretty as a real floor plan would look, and that's by design. All right. The scuff is intentional. Fuck you. Right, precisely. Is not bug, is feature. Oh. So now what we want to do, if we go to modify, we'll see that these bookshelves are 6 feet tall, 7 feet tall. So in order to represent them being broken, being shattered, we're going to change their dimensions. And then we're going to change their color so that they're a better signifier for players. And we are going to remember, always remember, that if you just type in 7 and don't hit the foot sign, it thinks you mean 7 inches. So we're going to take this and rotate it a bit. We're going to take this. Tell you what, we're gonna do the same thing with this. Modify. We're gonna make that 7 feet. And then for both of them, we're gonna change the width from 29 feet, basically 30 feet, to let's make this one 13 feet. And let's make this one 17 feet. So we don't have any yellow. So we will modify both of these to be yellow. And now you have two broken and knocked over bookshelves that take up space. And now you as a DM can be like, yeah, this is difficult terrain. This is, or what in the Shattered World is called treacherous terrain. You can let your players know how high it is based on how high you want it. Do you want it high enough to count as cover? You can absolutely do that. Do you not want it that high? You can absolutely say that. Excuse me. And modify, change the color. Change the color. Now they match. All right, so what you do now, anywhere we don't want one of these, we can move it. We can put this one way over here to represent a shelf being thrown, either through a magical blast or through sheer muscle mass. So now we have some treacherous terrain. We have different little areas for our players to hide in, and we'd also have that same stuff for our enemies. We have two potential locations where our players can hole up in. And we still have plenty of shelving and plenty of stuff around for them to fuck with and use how they want. Hopefully, by describing the scene, that will help trigger the players into thinking outside of the box and wanting to make some modifications of their own. Now, the actual encounter, I am not going to describe at this time because, again, I don't want to tip off my players, but that is basically my thought process when I'm designing an encounter. Trying to blend both what this area is in universe, what it would need to do its job, etc., and then how can you use that to make an interesting encounter. Now, this encounter will be very different depending on the types of monsters they fight, the types of adversaries. So, for example, if they were fighting a banshee or other type of spectral enemy that could float through shelves, that would be a very different encounter from a bull, right? The proverbial bull in a china shop, or a minotaur that's just barreling through shit. They could lead to a game of cat and mouse. The players in the Sunday stream, 2 of them are ranged. One of them has a flamethrower, so that's all kinds of fun. But so, any questions on that? We will go ahead and save this, and this is... Oh, that's going to be an absolutely awesome fight. So, at this point, I don't know about y'all, but it has been a very long day for me. So, I am going to call it a little early. Thank you. I appreciate it. I think you're the only one still on the stream time. But I am going to log. Thank you for showing up. Anybody who's watching this later, thank you for showing up. And I will talk to y'all next time. Take care.